Joining us now to weigh in is Air Force veteran and former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins and parental rights activist Brandon Mishon. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Doug, let's start with you. You serve this country. Thank you for your service. You know what is needed from our military to keep America protected. What are your thoughts when you see this radical messaging from our military? And does this send a message on the strength of our military right now?
Well, number one, the strength of our military is the strongest in the world. And in fact, just a few weeks ago, it was, I believe that Jen Psaki said that we were one of the strongest militaries in the world. I got a correction for our press secretary. We are the strongest military in the world. Look, there's no problem in celebrating the differences in our force and the people who serve in our force. The problem that we're having right now in this Biden administration is especially their attacks today, as we saw on so many things. There's so many issues in our country that need development. There's so many things in our country that need to be worked on. And what we're seeing right now is just a complete lack of responsibility when it comes to funding the things that need to be funding, and yet emphasizing things that are divisive and problematic. So I think people, as y'all said earlier, we need to be a part of not anybody being put down in those ways. But our government should be about the business of protecting our country, our southern border, making sure our budgets are appropriate, making sure that we're spending money where we're having to. And the Biden administration would much rather go off on a social agenda that is not applicable to that.
Yeah, and the social agenda doesn't just stop in the military. It really is the federal government attempting to seep into our homes. And Brandon, we're both parents, so I want to get your take on hearing the President of the United States say he is taking measures for creating trans equity in the classroom and also encouraging parents to let their kids have sex change operations if they question their gender. Your thoughts?
I first and foremost think this is absolutely child abuse. I mean, when you think about it, well, you have to be 21 years old to drink, 18 years old to vote, and 16 to drive a car. And we're saying it's okay for these minors to have thoughts of changing where they are from a gender identity. And these are operations that are a lot of times aren't able to even be reversed. I think it is straight up child abuse. I think this is adults that are indoctrinating and pushing their agendas. And there's nothing else I can really say besides this is completely unacceptable. Our children are the most innocent and easily influenced part of the population. I can tell my 4 kids that the sky is red and they're going to believe me every day. We need to stop indoctrinating, stop pushing this agenda. If you're an adult and you want to make those life decisions, do it. But we should not be telling young children that this is okay.
Yeah, certainly need different priorities right now. And gentlemen, even Fox News right now is cracking under the pressure to cater to this woke new America. Fox News, they marked Trans Day of Visibility by hiring perhaps the most famous trans person in the world, Caitlyn Jenner, who today made her debut as a contributor. I'd like to hear from both of you. How can moderate and conservative Americans stay true to their values and resist the pressure to go woke? Doug, I'll start with you.
Well, I think that's exactly it. Just stay true to who you are. Don't be afraid of your values and the things that you fight for. And I think what was just said is again, this idea that adults making choices and things that go on are something that we have been a part of in our country. But what concerns us is children and being excluded from parents and parents' rights in dealing with children's medical issues. They seem to be able to want everything else except in these kind of areas, especially in dealing with gender and other things in which we know that is something especially from us as conservatives or moderates, we understand that the fact of what we believe, and we have to stand up for that and say, look, we're not going to stand for this, and especially coming from our government that is forcing this upon us and trying to use our tax dollars to do that. That's the problem.
Yeah, Brandon, I'd like to get your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I think this is a breakdown in the household. I think if you want to use Caitlyn Jenner as an example, she made those decisions as an adult. We need to stop forcing indoctrination on our children. We need to get back to the principles of loving our neighbor, loving, and teaching our children to be good people in schools. Well, I am running for Congress in the 10th Congressional District of Virginia because I want to see us get back to the foundation of our country. Education, safety, the economy. Enough of this indoctrination, this woke agenda, all these agendas. We need to get this Brandon in office so that we can get that Brandon out of office and his agenda stopped. This is a time and this is a point in time where this is a point in time where we need to have strong leaders who stand up for their conviction and stand up for the rights of the people and allow adults to make adult decisions and to respect our children to be the next generation of leaders.
Brandon, I think you are spot on, and I will say let's go Brandon, but in a positive way, because I certainly support what
That's
you said
right.
there. Congressman Collins, Brandon Michon, thank you both for your time tonight. Great to have you here.
It's good to be
Thank you
with
so
you.
much.